everyone. For Feed SCV, I'm Todd Wilson. Welcome to our holiday turkey instructions, our holiday turkey roasting. Basically, I'm going to teach you in just a few minutes how to make the most delicious, the most flavorful, and probably the shortest cooked turkey you've ever had in your entire life. Turkey is a great holiday meal. In my family, we had turkey every Christmas as well as every Thanksgiving. It was just one of our holiday traditions. And you know what? Forgive me, grandmother, for saying this, but my grandma always sort of overdid it. The dark meat was always juicy, always delicious. But the white meat was dry. Needed a lot of gravy and needed a lot of cranberry sauce. I'm going to show you how to keep that turkey moist, tender, and flavorful, and not really have to put a ton of extra effort into it. A lot of people have talked about brining your turkey and soaking the turkey in a bath, a saltwater bath for hours, if even overnight. And you know what that really makes for? Mushy turkey. You're not going to be able to get your flavor. You're not going to be able to get all those salts in and out of the turkey meat because there's too much water. So what we do here is we do the dry brine process, and we'll show you that. But first, I want to show you how to cook this turkey super fast by spatchcocking the turkey. When you look at a turkey, you normally have the breast, the legs, the wings, but what is not often known is the back isn't really good for anything. It's a big, thick backbone. And if you cut that out, you can flatten the turkey, and that will help it roast nice and evenly and cook faster even, because you're not trying to heat up a big cavity full of stuffing or fruit or vegetables or anything else you might throw in there. It's going to be great. And again, it cooks in about half the time. A turkey this size, 12 pounds or so, anywhere from 8 to 14 pounds. Normally you would cook it 2.5 hours or so in an oven. Here we'll be able to do this in just about 80 minutes or so. It'll be a lot quicker. Family's not going to be waiting around the table for that delicious turkey to come on out. When handling turkey, you always need to be very careful. A lot of people like to handle their poultry first by washing it off in the sink. Completely unnecessary, and in fact what it does is splashes all over the place, spreading any potential contaminants, that salmonella, any other germs, bugs that might be in the turkey. You don't want to wash it off. Just pat it dry with a paper towel so you can easily throw that away. But what I also recommend is using some gloves, latex, nitrile, whatever you like. All right, so we grab the turkey, we flip it over onto its back, but grab a big chef's knife, or if you have it, a cleaver. And what you're just gonna wanna do is, you see right here, where the neck meets the back, that's where you begin cutting all the way down to the tail. And in fact, I even score the turkey skin a little bit just to see where I'm gonna go and make my cuts. For most turkeys under 14 pounds, a chef's knife should do the job. You know what? I'm calling in the big guns. The cleaver. And just like that, you've got your backbone out and you're ready to address the turkey. Now you can see it's sort of still standing up. It's not really laying flat. You just got to put some muscle into it. You're going to break some bones, that's okay. And now you can get it to lay perfectly flat. Tuck the wing tips underneath the back, just like this. And now you've got your turkey ready to dry brine. So brining the turkey is very simple. It's just salt. That's all it is. Some kosher salt. You can get it anywhere at the grocery store, Mega Marts, warehouse stores, and you just grab a pinch and you liberally coat. You want it to look like it's been through a snowstorm. See enough salt on there that you're definitely gonna get that salt penetrating into the turkey meat while it rests for the next 24 hours or so. No work, not a lot of mess, not a lot of fuss. I'm using my clean hand to touch the salt and a gloved hand. Just gonna press it in to make sure I'm getting it in all the cracks. You do want it to cover everywhere, get all the meat that you're gonna eat. All this dark meat, the thighs, the legs. Who doesn't love a good turkey drumstick, right? And make sure you get everywhere, even the part the skin doesn't cover. I trimmed some of the skin off of this to make it a little neater because sometimes they come out a little heavy on the skin around the neck. And you can see already the salt is starting to absorb and it's pulling moisture out of the turkey right now, which it will then mix with the salt and then go back into the turkey, giving your turkey that great seasoned flavor, but also preserving the moisture inside the turkey for when you roast it. It's gonna come out juicy and delicious. All right, so what we do is we get our tray, we just do a sheet pan with a baking rack on top of it, and we move the whole turkey over just like this. All right, let that sit in the fridge overnight. You're good to go the following morning for that turkey dinner. All right, so it's the next day and you're ready to roast your turkey. You're not just gonna throw it in plain. No, you still need your aromatics, things like onions, celery, carrots, some herbs like thyme. So what you wanna do is you just need to take some and give it a rough chop and you'll lay it on the pan underneath. So start with your onions. A few carrots. Again, we're not looking for anything that's going to be eaten, so just a rough chop. After a simple washing, you don't need to peel them. Some celery. And thyme. We don't need to chop that up. All right, final home stretch. So now we're ready to go. It's go time. We're ready to roast. We take our aromatics and just scatter them over the bottom of your sheet pan. Onions. Again, you're looking at about 2-3 onions, 3-4 carrots, all rough chopped. Again, nothing too special. Just spread that out because as that cooks, it's gonna caramelize and give some great flavor to the turkey. And throw that thyme right down on top. And then you can take your dry brine turkey, pull it right off the rack, or pull the whole rack in, and set that down right there. And you are ready to go right into the oven. All right, a couple times during the roasting process, you're gonna wanna turn your turkey in the oven, make sure you get nice and even cooking. And also using a probe thermometer, take the temperature, the deepest part of the breast and the deepest part of the thigh. You're looking for a temperature of 150 at that deepest part of the breast and 165 in the thigh. All right, it's been about 85 minutes, a little longer than we expected, but still pretty short. Let's go take a look. Oh, and it looks golden delicious. Super delicious. Look at that. Ooh, hot. And just look, I can't, it's too hot. I want to grab it. Spatchcock, dry brined, holiday turkey. Okay, the one thing you got to do is absolutely make sure this thing is cooked all the way through. So grab a probe thermometer like this one here. This one's expensive. You don't need an expensive one, but you want to take the temperature at the deepest part of the turkey in the breast and in the thigh and make sure that you've got at least 150 degrees in the breast and 165 or so in the thigh. And we're perfect. All right, guys, we thank you for hanging out with us today. We hope you have a wonderful holiday season with your family. And you know what? I hope we can make your holiday a little bit brighter with this new tradition of turkey and a new way of doing it. Check us out online, feedscv.org. We're also on all the social media, FeedSCV, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I think we're still on MySpace, I'm not sure. And hit us up if you have any ideas, anything you want to see. And we do hope you have a wonderful holiday again. Thanks.
Hey everyone, this is Alexis Shaheen, and today we're going to make chocolate peppermint thumbprint cookies. These cookies are so delicious. They're chewy and chocolatey, and they've got just a hint of peppermint. Let's begin by measuring out all of our ingredients. 1 cup plus 2 tablespoons all-purpose flour, 1/3 cup unsweetened cocoa powder, 3/4 teaspoon baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon salt, 1 cup sugar, 1 large egg, 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1 1/4 stick of unsalted butter. For the toppings, you will need crushed peppermint candies and chopped Andes mints. You will also need 4 ounces of milk chocolate. Okay, let's do this. Start by sifting the flour, cocoa powder, baking soda, and salt into a large bowl, and then set it aside. It's good practice to sift all your dry ingredients before you make your dough. That way you don't have any unwanted chunky bits in your final product. Next, in a mixing bowl fitted with a paddle attachment, cream together the butter and sugar on medium to high speed for about 3 minutes or until the mixture is nice and fluffy. Add the egg and vanilla extract and mix it until it's well combined. Reduce your speed to low and then start to add your flour mixture in small batches. Make sure that you add your flour nice and slowly so that it doesn't fly everywhere. This is definitely my favorite step in the process because I can start to smell the flavors come together. The cocoa mixed with the sugar and the butter smells so divine. Once you have your cookie dough prepared, scoop it from your mixing bowl into a separate bowl and then just set it aside. Now you're going to prepare a couple of baking sheets. This can be done a few ways. You can line your baking sheet with parchment paper, spray the baking sheet down with some non-stick cooking spray, or you can do what I've done here and use a Silpat. Now get your cookie dough and scoop about a tablespoon's worth of dough into the palm of your hand. Roll the dough into smooth, small round balls, and then place them about 2 inches apart on your prepared baking sheets. Refrigerate these until they're firm. I'd say about 1 hour should be enough time. Now start to preheat your oven. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees. While you're waiting for the oven to heat, you can set up a double broiler to melt your milk chocolate for later. A double broiler is a pot filled with about 2 inches of water brought to a boil and then a metal bowl placed on top. Your chocolate goes inside the metal bowl, and the steam that's created from the boiling water underneath melts your chocolate at a slow and safe pace so that it doesn't burn. If you don't have the equipment to make a double boiler at home, don't sweat it. You can also melt your chocolate in the microwave using a microwave safe container. All right, time to bake. We're gonna place this tray into the oven and then set the timer for about 9 minutes to start. These cookies are very delicate. You don't want to overbake them. So no more than 11 minutes in the oven should be appropriate. Once your cookies are done baking, pull the tray out of the oven and then set them aside to cool slightly. While they're still hot, you're going to use a tool that's smooth and round at the end to press into the center of each cookie so that you can make a small little indentation, which will be filled with chocolate and your toppings. Allow your cookies to cool completely before you begin to decorate. Using a spoon, fill the center of each cookie with a little bit of melted milk chocolate and then garnish them with your toppings. Your crushed peppermint candies and chopped Andes mints. This is a perfect way to get rid of any leftover candy canes from Christmas time. I'm so excited to bite into these cookies right now. Let's do a little taste test.
Welcome to Kitchen Tools. My name is Tamra Levine. I'm the Director of Catering at Salt Creek Grill here in town, and I also am a chef and event stylist for Heritage Lane Productions. We're going to talk and do a series on kitchen tools, but today we're going to start off with talking about knives. The reason being is that the knife is going to be your most utilized tool in the kitchen, and we all need them. So start by thinking, what is it that I make in my kitchen? Am I doing just baking and pastries? Am I making dinner every night for my family? Am I making dinner every night for my family, but Thanksgiving is coming up and now I'm gonna need to carve a turkey too? So go to Kohl's, Target, Walmart. You're gonna walk in and on that shelf is gonna be an array of different knife sets and maybe some individual knives. Okay, so we have our 4 basic knives that we're gonna utilize in the kitchen. These are the 4 most important. Here's your chef's knives. Chef knife is going to be having a blade anywhere between 8, 10 to 12 inches long. This is an interesting one. This chef knife also has some little indentations here. This is called a hollow. And you're going to find that is going to come in handy when you're doing some of the slicing and you don't want it to stick to the potato. How many times have you sliced a potato and the potato stuck to your blade? Paring knives, you can see smaller in size, anywhere between 3 and 4 inches. Utility knives, a replica of your chef knife in miniature, is going to be anywhere between 6 to 8 inches long. You might even find them a little bit smaller. And then now we come down to the slicer knives. This one has a scalloped edge. This one has more of a teeth edge. When do you use these? When you have a hard outside and a soft inside. Think of some really nice French Italian bread. Think of your tomato, harder outside. There is nothing worse than trying to slice a tomato with a dull blade. These are going to be at least a minimum of 10 inches long, if not longer. So let's talk a little bit about what is the anatomy of this chef's knife. We have a nice little diagram here that's going to give you a little bit of indication also. Knife. This is the entire blade. The spine, the edge, the tip. Right here is the bolster. This one has a better bolster that you can see right here. You have your heel, the butt, the handle, and here you can even see the tang coming into the handle. If you notice in this handle, my wooden handle here, there's some rivets. I also, in some of my paring knives, have rivets also. If you choose knives that have rivets, you've got to really make sure that they are flush with the material of your handle, because if they start coming out, you're going to get irritated on the skin of your hand, and then you're not even going to be able to hold the knife. So that's something that you really want to think about right there. What you want to try and do is pick up, this is our chef's knife, go ahead and pick up a chef's knife. You want that to feel really, really comfortable in your hand. We've got a blade, we've got a handle. You want the weight equally distributed throughout the entire knife from tip to heel, okay? So we have different kinds of chef's knives down here as far as what the handle is made from. And you're gonna see that in the store also. As you go from plastic to a rubber texture to composite to wood, the price is gonna increase. So you also have to think about, what can I afford to buy here? If you're gonna spend the money on one knife, get yourself a really, really good chef's knife. This is the #1 knife used in the kitchen. What's number 2? It's going to be your paring knives. If you look at this knife, here's your blade, and if you can tell, it still continues to come back partially. This is called the tang, all right? And I do have that in some of my composite knives also, all right? The composite handled ones. But you see in these, my rubber handle, my plastic handle, my rubber handle, you don't see that tang. My favorite is going to be the wooden handles. Also, if you want something that's even more comfortable, if you need, you'll find some handles actually have some notches in them where your fingers can fit. That's going to be more ergonomic for your hand. So, that's going to wrap it up for today. I think we have a great start. You have some knowledge now. You can go out and buy a knife. Bring that knife to our next food session. We're going to talk a little bit more about kitchen tools, but in those food sections, we are going to take those knives, we're going to take those tools, we're going to learn how to dice, we're going to learn how to slice. We're going to be able to throw that salt over our shoulder and hope that all of our product and our food tastes good. Until then, happy cutting. Cheers.
Hi, this is Judith with Writer to Writer. I teach self-publishing classes in Santa Clarita. I lived in Santa Clarita for 15 years before moving up to the mountains just about 9 years ago. And today I'm going to show you how to make hummus, which is a traditional Lebanese appetizer, sometimes a meal, and usually accompanies many of our meals, but for sure during the holidays. And so I'm going to show you how to make it today, and here's the benefit. Hummus is not only delicious, but it's nutritious. It has several B vitamins, magnesium, phosphorus, and it's very healthy and a lot of high protein. So you'll be feeling good about it when you make this for your family. So we're going to start with, of course, garbanzo beans or chickpeas. And you can use any kind of a blender or food processor that you want, whatever you feel comfortable with. I use this type of a blender and it works perfectly. So we put the beans, the garbanzo beans, into the container. We put in some olive oil. In here is about 2 tablespoons, but you'll learn once you start making this, you'll start making this according to your taste, which is great. We have what's called tahini, which is crushed sesame seeds paste. And this is where all the vitamins are. This is delicious and nutritious, and this is what gives it its unique flavor. And I always add just a tiny bit of the water from the, and tahini, as I said, has all the vitamins in it. So this is a really healthy and delicious appetizer. Now my favorite part is fresh lemon. We're so lucky here in California that we can use fresh lemons year-round, and lemon is something that also you will put in to your taste. But start with a half a lemon, and if you feel like you need to add more, go ahead and squeeze another lemon. Okay, and so now it looks like we have what we need in here. I'm going to put in a little bit more of the water from the hummus can, and the reason for that is it helps it to blend a little better. And then we cover it tightly and pop it into the blender, and this is going to blend for a second. stop about halfway through just to check the consistency. And if it's a little too thick or if it's too thin, you have to probably add more hummus. But if it's too thin, you can go ahead and add a little bit more of the water. But this looks like it's about the consistency that it should be. So we're going to mix it up again. We mixed in the blend. We mixed in the beans that were not ground. Okay, so there we go. Now, if you like, you can always add garlic. Garlic adds a particular flavor to everything. I love garlic. But anyway, so when the hummus is done, you mix it up just a little bit more and then add a little bit of salt. I wait until this stage of the game to add the salt. And then you taste it. Make sure that it tastes the way that you want it to taste. And that's the beauty of it, is you can always add more or less of a particular ingredient. Okay. And so once you have it in the bowl, you can decorate it or flavor it with anything, paprika, just anything you like. This is a little bit of chili powder to give it a zest, and just leave that on the top. And there you have hummus.
To where you're actually going to start cutting. So we're going to take that carrot and we're going to do dicing and slicing, and we're going to be our own.
It promotes splashing the juices throughout your kitchen, spreading any potassium? Was I saying potassium?
What I just did is I recorded the first 5 minutes without actually recording it. So
we have to measure all of the dry ingredients.
yeah, this is a videographer error, and I apologize. We're gonna do another take.
And action.
All right. Join me next time